Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin Dennison. Along with me, Atomic Tommy, broadcasting from our studio at Most Wanted Comics here in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. Atomic Tommy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great.
Oh, man.
Happy to be here.
Well, yeah, another episode coming at you. And I tell you what, this is going to be a fun one. I hope you get your brackets out and get ready to go. We are fired up. We're going to review round 2. That was the Sweet 16 results we're going to give you. What matchups we had. We're going to recap everything for you up to date. So get your brackets out. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some upcoming events. March 23rd, Saturday, March 23rd, Kevin Tapani, former Minnesota Twin and 1991 world champion, will be at this store from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. signing autographs for all the fans. $15 per autograph. You can bring your own stuff to get signed. That's fine if you don't have anything. Most Wanted Comics has sports cards, pictures, stuff. We have Twins stuff. So if you don't have anything, you can get something from the store.
And some Cubs gear for you Cubs fans.
Oh, for the Cubs fans, he have a stint with the Cubs. So we do have some Cubs mini helmets and some Cubs baseball cards of Kevin Tapani as well. Anyway, yeah, if you have something, bring it. It's $15 per item autographed, $20 for an autograph selfie combo. Otherwise, it's $15 for a selfie, $15 for an autograph, or $20 for the combo. Made it really affordable for a life experience to meet a world champion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time, great fun for everybody. So make sure you put that on your calendar, Saturday, March 23rd. If you can't make it, as a service to the customers, you can come in this week and drop stuff off too, and we'll get it signed for you. Come pick it up. If you can't make it on Saturday, we'll get it signed for you and be happy to get it to you when you come pick it up.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's move on to the topics of the week. Let's recap the books.
Yeah, I want to talk about Amazing Spider-Man again.
We're going back. Now, is it going to be a positive or negative?
Might be a bit of both. Okay, you might surprise me. Okay, this is Amazing Spider-Man 45 that came out this past week.
Yep.
And what I'll start with is John Romita Jr. killed it on that cover A. That's an amazing cover.
Good art. Okay, start.
It's
good
great.
Start.
Also, the variant covers are really cool. I give John Romita Jr. a hard time sometimes. And while I'm not his biggest fan, he can do a good job on occasion.
Okay.
He can do a good job. This is one of those times. There's just a few times in the book, you see it throughout the Amazing Spider-Man run where his faces are kind of weird. Just the art looks a little strange sometimes. And that's not me saying I think he's a bad artist or that I don't like him. He's just not really my style all the time, And I think everybody's got a different style. But anyway, there's a different artist on this book. It's not John Romita Jr. John Romita Jr. Did not draw Amazing Spider-Man 45 as a different artist. And the artist did a great job. It's some good art. I think it's cool. It's refreshing for the Amazing Spider-Man title. So positivity there.
Okay, compliment sandwich coming
compliment up. Sandwich.
Something good.
Something good. We came out of gang war. We're out of the gang war now. We're back in it with Amazing Spider-Man, and this sort of did definitely feel like a, let's catch up on things that we had to put a hold on for the tie-in, and that's I think that's a problem. I think with these tie-ins is that they never really do a good job of keeping it consistent and in line with what's happening with the sort of with the main title. Like Gang War was an Amazing Spider-Man title. It was an Amazing Spider-Man event. But what it felt like editorial just they really wanted an event with all their street level characters teaming up. And what that meant was they had to put some of the stuff going on in the Amazing Spider-Man run on hold, and it did feel a little weird. For example, the biggest example, and my biggest problem, was that Norman Osborn was nowhere to be found. I love what they're doing with Norman Osborn and Amazing Spider-Man. They're making him a good guy. He's the Gold Goblin now. His sins were taken away, and he's good now. He's on a redemption path. I love
Norman's
that.
Always been a part of Spider-Man. He's always been there.
Right, and I think, I don't really like the reason they gave him the book. I think he had no reason to really sit it out, but he did. And obviously there was that teaser from 9 issues ago now where he had the little goblin laugh at the end, and they're maybe he'll be the Green Goblin again. I think that's a mistake. Please don't do that.
You want to keep him the gold?
Yes, please, Marvel, if you're listening to this on some 1 in a million shot, please, please, I'm begging you, do not ruin Norman Osborn. He's doing so well. Please.
Don't ruin the new Golden Boy.
Don't ruin Gold Goblin, please. I want a Marvel Legend of Gold Goblin. I want him to stay a good guy. Just please. I don't know where we're going from here because the teaser at the end of the book, spoilers.
Well, like in hockey, they did give him a healthy scratch for a while. They put him on the bench.
I know, but I just and we'll get back. Well, we'll circle back to it in a second. But the teaser at the end of the book, spoilers if you haven't gotten around to Amazing Spider-Man 45 in your reading pile yet. I get it. But there's spoilers ahead. The teaser at the end is that the Sinister Six is back. Now, maybe that's something that we're building up in like a different title. I'm not sure. They did have a weird little side thing going on with Kraven and Dr. Octopus. I remember that. I don't think really went anywhere. But apparently this is probably where that was going. They were bringing back the Sinister Six. And here's another negative thing. Okay. We're going back negative. I just, it's so tired. I mean, how many times have they done that? You know, the Sinister Six is defeated once and for all. They got them, boys. They're in prison. Way to go. High fives all around. But then, they're back again. We'll get you, Spider-Man. And then they're gone again. And then they're back again. Oh, Spider-Man. Yeah, your day for death is here.
Okay, something good, something good.
And then they're gone again. And while the Sinister Six is cool, it just doesn't wow me anymore. It just, they keep having to circle back to, these old, overused characters and ideas. It's like Zeb Wells really wants to do some really cool stuff with this book, but the editors keep pulling him back. Oh, we need the Sinister Six. We need the tie-in crossover. We need it. And Zeb Wells just doesn't. It's a clear clash between the writer and the editor, and that's what's really holding this book back.
Let Zeb go.
Let him, please.
Let him do his thing.
The problem, and they have this problem with a lot of characters. They're just afraid to let characters go. We see this with Carnage. I'm tired of seeing Carnage, but he's popping up everywhere. He's got his own book. He's once again the main villain of the Venom comics. And we don't need to get into the Venom comics. That's a whole nother discussion. But it's Carnage. It's Green Goblin. It's the Sinister. It's these characters that they just don't want to let go or let the titles breathe without them. And I think it's something that needs to change. But that's the Amazing Spider-Man talk for now. I'm sure we'll come back to it in another episode. We always do. I always have stuff to say about Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, thank you. I get the claps.
Good take. And it wasn't overly negative.
It wasn't overly negative. But, and other books, Ghost Rider, Final Vengeance was cool. I just don't have a lot to say about it.
It's too new.
Black Widow and Hawkeye was cool. I just don't have a lot to say about it. Coming up this week.
But I don't hate it. I don't hate Ghost Rider.
I don't hate, no.
It's too soon. But I love that there's a Ghost Rider. And I can't wait to read.
Written by Benjamin Percy, local star.
Local star. And hopefully we can get some other local talent on the art. Anyway, coming out to look forward to on Wednesday. We have some stuff coming out.
All Marvel, once again. DC needs to step it up. But Marvel Web of Spider-Man #1, I think, is the big one. Another new Spider-Man title. An argument can be made that there doesn't need to be another one, but there is.
Is it going to be as hot as Ultimate Spider-Man? No.
Okay. No, it will not. But anyway, I'll give it a read. We'll see what's up.
Of course, Spider-Man. Everyone's going
to give it a read. X-Men Forever #1. We'll be getting to X-Men in just 1 minute. But they're starting a new X-Men run right as it's about to end. Is it a mistake? Who knows? We'll be giving that a read. Also, Vengeance of Moon Knight #3. Will we find out who the new Moon Knight is? I hope so.
This should be the issue.
It's getting boring. And then Star Wars Jango Fett #1, a new Star Wars #1. Hopefully that'll be pretty cool.
Jango Fett's cool.
Jango Fett is cool.
I think we're ready for that one.
All right. Well, let's get to one before we get to the bracket.
Get your brackets out. It's time to go over.
Not yet.
The results. Not yet.
Not yet. You don't
I'm
jump
excited.
the gun. I know you're excited, but we got to talk about X-Men first.
Oh, yeah. You said we were talking. Oh, my bad.
We got to talk about X-Men. Talk of the town, news of the week. Marvel revealed their whole plan, their whole layout. You can see it behind me right now of all the new X-Men stuff coming out with their relaunch in July. For those of you who maybe live under a rock, X-Men will be ending. The Krakoan age is coming to an end, and they're rebooting it and restarting it all with a bunch of new X-Men titles.
The whole new world.
X-Men #1, Uncanny X-Men #1, Extreme, is it Extreme X-Men #1 or Exceptional X-Men? I can't remember.
It's going to be a lot of X-Men, overwhelming X-Men, and I bet you every single title sells out. Those number ones are going to
probably is the X-Men. These are sort of your 3 flagship titles that are sort of on top, and then they have a couple, I think, mini series that'll be going on the bottom. X-23, Wolverine, Storm, just, X Factor, just to name a couple.
We did order enough copies, right?
Well, not up for order yet. They are not up for order yet.
Okay, we got to make sure of that.
We will for sure have plenty of copies here at the store, though. You can guarantee that. What I will say about this title is that personally, I don't have I actually think it's a good idea.
It is a good idea. It's time.
It's time. A lot of people are upset that the Krakoan age of X-Men, which is sort of, the more recent X-Men comics, right? That did a lot of new stuff with the X-Men. It did a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not a big X-Men guy, and it got kind of hard to follow. When I got back into comics, we were kind of right in the middle of everything, and I wasn't really sure where we were. I wasn't really sure what was happening. It was getting a little hard to follow even back then, and now, as I try to pick things up, I just don't know what's happening. And when you get to a point like that, where it's impossible for any new reader to jump on, it's time for a reboot. And it's really easy to get there with X-Men, because X-Men comics have been doing a lot lately, and it's been good, and people have really liked it, and that's awesome. But if people can't if you can't get any new readers, there's a problem there too. So I personally think that the reboot, while it may be a little less, explosive and wow as more recent X-Men comics, and sort of bringing things back to basics, I think it's a good call.
I agree. Everything you said is spot on. I can't wait. I'm excited for the X-Men. I'm not a huge X-Men guy, but it's well past due to reboot the whole damn world.
Right.
And it's time to start over, and it's a good jumping on point. Get new readers, get new people buying comic books, because a lot of people don't even know where to start. And
right.
here's a good opportunity to gain new readers and new subscribers to the comics. So all around, I think it's a totally good idea to reboot everything, start over. Everybody's on the same page. Number one, doesn't matter who, where, what, when. You can all start over at the same spot. And it gives people a chance to jump on board.
Yes, it does.
So for the comic book thing, I think from a standpoint, from stores to business to I think the whole comic book scene is good to have a reboot like this.
Right.
So
and make no mistake, we are not believers in constant number ones.
No,
okay?
No.
That is a fundamental flaw in modern comics.
Not 7 issues and start over all the time. Unless you're doing a miniseries, I get it. But if you just cancel it after 11 issues because you're sick of it, you're doing something wrong.
I even think there's a discussion to be had about miniseries are bad. But one of the things that I actually think DC does better than Marvel, is that they make their comics easier to jump onto. For example, Batman books, if you look at mainstream Batman, their arcs are split. Their comics are split into arcs, right? It's one long-running Batman title, split in, and their stories are split into parts. And while the stories will call back to each other and tie back to each other,
there are jumping on points.
There are jumping on points, and it's easier to tell in DC where those jumping points are. In Marvel, you never know. You're picking up a Batman, and Batman, I'm still in DC. If you look at Marvel, if you pick up an Amazing Spider-Man 45, you're not going to have any idea what's going on. Nope. There are jumping on points in the Amazing Spider-Man title, but you just never know, right? Yeah. In DC, I mean, you can read Nightwing pretty much any time. Nightwing is a title you can just pick up and read, right?
Yeah, it's like a new episode every issue.
Right. Batman is the same way. It's, 3-issue story, and then you can start over and you can pick up that part 1 and get a whole story out of it and be fine. That's something that Marvel lacks. Mostly because they bank all of their money on miniseries, and it just gets old, man. But anyway, time for brackets.
Oh, real quick, shout out to Bill Allen, our friend in California. Crew Jones, March National release of Rad in theaters all over the country. They're doing a Rad release in theaters all over the country. Bill, we're happy for you, buddy.
Congrats.
We're going to get you back to Minnesota again. You got a following here. And I just wanted to do a shout out to our friend Bill Allen. He's a friend of the show, friend of the comic shop. Saw that on Facebook. Buddy Persky sent it to me. And it was great to see that they're doing a film thing.
Shout out.
So, Bill Allen, here's to you, bud. And here's to one of the best 80s movies ever made. Rad. All right, get those brackets out. It's time to go over week 2. We're into the Sweet 16 here, so we'll get ready for some results, man. There was some hardcore action this time.
There was, I'll tell you.
Boy, the first week was tough enough, and there were some bracket busters in that first week. But you know what? Now we're in the Sweet 16, moving into the Grade 8. Let's get some results. The first matchup, you had Shang-Chi versus Captain Marvel. Why don't you go over that battle, and let's see who won.
Well, it was a lot closer than anybody predicted. Shang-Chi brought out a secret weapon, the 10 rings.
Oh,
Shang-Chi brought out
lethal.
the 10 rings.
Those
they
are
are
lethal.
lethal, and because of that,
And neutralize Captain Marvel.
the winner is Shang-Chi. I know. Everybody put the pitchforks down.
Put the torches and
You
pitchforks
gotta
down. You got to
understand.
understand the 10 rings.
The 10 rings are underestimated by everybody. Everybody underestimates them. Everybody thinks they're just some little weapon, yeah. But they're not. Let me tell you. They are an alien force to be reckoned with. They all have their own unique power. One of them can reduce anybody down to an atomic, do the atomic level. They can do done.
Okay,
Done.
don't
Energy
kick the
manipulation.
cat. Don't throw anything at the TV. Remember, this is for fun.
Molecule
for
manipulation, mind warping. These rings are insane. And even though Captain Marvel's power is of a cosmic level,
It's a
so
cosmic
are these.
level.
So are these rings.
It was
These
it was a doozy.
These rings, Captain Marvel just. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to Captain Marvel. Maybe she underestimated the
I think
rings.
she got tired. I think they wore her down. The 10 rings wore her down.
I know, but she just wasn't prepared for it, and she lost the fight.
All right, so moving on to the Grade 8 is Shang-Chi. Well earned. He was a real sleeper.
He
in
was
this bracket. I tell you what. Cyborg versus Swamp Thing. Cyborg pulled a major upset. That
Yes, he
party
did.
lasted a whole week, and I think it caught up to Cyborg. I think
the party lasted.
the
all
huge upset party caught up to Cyborg a little bit.
Yeah, it did. Look. This was a tough round 2 matchup for Cyborg. He was really banking on the Savage Dragon win. I think for him,
I think he was. He was hoping for an upset by Savage.
he was hoping for an upset by Savage. Didn't work out, and now he's going up against Swamp Thing. And look,
He ain't beating Swamp Thing,
he's
dude.
not being. Look,
I don't care what alien technology he has. Swamp Thing's
his tech might have fared well against the Captain, but I'll tell you, it's not going to work against the Swamp Thing. Sorry, it's just not going to work. So that was over quick. That was done. Cyborg is out.
Yep, Swamp Thing moves on
Yikes.
to the great. That's going to be a battle against Shang-Chi. I tell you, that's we'll have to wait and see that one. Okay, anyway, Flash versus Daybreak. Got to tell you, we said not to sleep on Daybreak. She had a hell of a run, but just couldn't. She couldn't pull it. You know, the Flash. I mean, Daybreak gave Flash all he could handle.
Yeah,
But Daybreak's time is over.
Daybreak's time is over right now. Here's the thing about the Flash. The reason why the Flash is one of my favorite characters, especially Barry Allen, is because he'll give you a chance. Especially when Barry Allen, when he's mad, when he's ready to fight someone, he'll give you a chance to surrender, do the right thing. But if you decline that chance, you're done. You're over. It's over. He's not going to hold back. He's not going to sit down and have a chat with you like Wally. He's going to knock you out, throw you in jail, and throw away the key. He's not going to give a sheet about anything.
Not a bed sheet, folks.
Not a bed sheet, but I like to keep it family friendly here.
Yeah, I tell you what. So yeah, good job to Daybreak. Hell of a run, hell of a first victory upset, and boy, you know, really gave Starfire Oceano, moved on. The sweet, just making it to the Sweet 16 is an honor.
It is an honor.
It's an honor.
Great
Good job
to
for Daybreak. Good debut.
What I'll say is we saw a very cool power come out of the Flash because the Daybreak is extremely durable.
Yeah,
Almost just as durable as
this was an
Superman.
overtime victory.
It was an overtime victory. Flash had to bust out the infinite mass punch, something that can take down Superman. She had to bust it out. He had to
use it all.
He had to use it on Daybreak.
He had to use it, which means Daybreak is going to be a force to be reckoned with next year, maybe.
It could be.
Anyway, good job to Daybreak in her debut of the tournament. Hopefully, better luck next year. Let's move on to Human Torch versus Dr. Doom.
This was another easy win for Doom.
This was a pull-away victory in the second half.
The Torch, much as I love him, he stood no chance. against the magic-wielding, fist-flinging might of Dr. Doom. He just annihilated Johnny, embarrassed him.
First half, you thought this was going to be a game in the first half, but then the second half, Dr. Doom just pulled it away.
Human Torch went home crying. He went home weeping. He's done. He's out. Human Torch ain't coming back. He's salty. He's mad. He's embarrassed. Dr. Doom wiped the floor with him. It was hard to watch.
Dr. Doom's happy with the bracket right now.
Dr. Doom's happy with the bracket. Dr. Doom is just... I think Doom's a little insulted to be here, honestly.
Yeah, he's like,
I don't even know why. I know. I don't think... All
right, here we go. We got, Scarlet Witch made quick work in Nova last week, but this time... It wasn't so fast. Scarlet Witch had to take on Raven.
Now, this is going to be another one where you're going to have to put the pitchforks down.
Uh-oh.
All right? I'm going to tell you this.
You just angered half the world.
Scarlet Witch did not win this fight. Look.
Don't kick the puppies. Don't kick the cats.
There are
for fun.
It is for fun. It is a for fun fight. Everybody calm down. There are a lot of people who are broke right now because they put all their money on Scarlet Witch.
That bracket got busted.
That bracket is gone. Get out of here.
No, but you can still win.
Still win.
You get in the final four, you get more points.
I think it's important to explain how Raven won, because here's the thing about Scarlet Witch. She has incredible power, but she's not all there.
Arguably the most power on this bracket.
Arguably. We got to remember, though, that Raven's power is very, very similar to Scarlet Witch.
It is.
Slightly lower, but what keeps her up there is the fact that she has Trigon in her back corner. Now, they don't always get along, but he is there.
Yep.
And
she is demonic.
Sometimes they do gotta, they gotta team up, right? Scarlet Witch, though, is just emotionally not all there. Her emotions...
She's vulnerable.
They tend to get the better of her.
She gets emotional. She's vulnerable.
That's right. When she gets emotional, she gets vulnerable, and sometimes she lets those emotions get the best of her, and it tends to be more of a weakness than a benefit.
You totally saw it in Infinity War with Thanos when she got emotional. She was taken out, no problem. But she got emotional.
And that's a problem with Scarlet Witch when she gets emotional.
Hawkeye took her down. She was emotional. She thought she could get into his mind. He's like, "No, I've already had this happen to me. Let no one do it."
When Scarlet Witch gets
vulnerable.
When Scarlet Witch gets emotional, she gets vulnerable. She gets dumb. Right? Things just don't go her way. And Raven has spent her entire life controlling those emotions, controlling those powers. And Raven, I would argue, is mentally stronger than Scarlet Witch. Not only emotionally, but mentally. Just in terms of, because part of Raven's power is mental manipulation and mental power. And I think those powers are just stronger than Scarlet Witch, has given her emotional
Even though
strength.
Scarlet Witch has the same type of power, she has years experience on Scarlet Witch.
That's true. Raven, I think it's important to remember here that Scarlet Witch, even though she's powerful, is vulnerable when she gets emotional. She kind of lashes out, and it is a weakness. So I think put the pitchforks down. Raven was the winner here, is what it is. I don't make the rules.
It was a tough matchup. It was a tough game.
It was a tough game.
Went down to the wire.
But that's just how it is, folks.
All right, Ghost Rider versus Wolverine. We have a clear winner. And this again was not easy. Ghost Rider all handled, but Ghost Rider takes it. And tell us how that happened. Tell us the recap of that
Ghost
matchup.
Rider, look, here's the thing about Ghost Rider. Nothing Wolverine could do could hurt Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider, I mean, you cut anything you do to Ghost Rider, at least anything that Wolverine could do to Ghost Rider's not even going to feel. So Wolverine, unfortunately, despite the healing factor, just stood no chance here. I mean, Wolverine, he can't do anything against Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is a demon that can't really feel any pain, can't really get hurt by any physical means that Wolverine could do. So it's just over for him.
And he it's not that Wolverine could die, it's just that Ghost Rider took him out of his world.
Ghost Rider just didn't even...
Wolverine's in a whole other place right now.
Ghost Rider's just can't stop him.
All right. Now let's go on to the next one. This was, again, another nail biter. This one was Wonder Woman versus Homelander. And we got to go through this, man. This one was really an intense matchup. This is Wonder Woman taking it down. Right. Homelander, which we thought Homelander was going to be a Final Four
We all
candidate.
thought Homelander was going to be a Final Four, but Wonder Woman took him down, and I think I understand why, right? Here's the thing. Homelander's powers, right, largely consist of lower-level super strength. He has super strength, but it's pretty low level. Mid-level fighting skills and heat vision. That's really the extent that we've seen of Homelander's powers, okay? Wonder Woman can pretty much go up against all of that. I mean, she can't beat Superman, but she can hold her own. Homelander is not as powerful as Superman. In fact, there's a lot of characters that can beat Homelander, right? It's just a matter of that he's never really had to. If you look at The Boys, whether it's the comics or the show, he never really has to go up against characters stronger than him or that have similar powers as him. It's not really until somebody like Soldier Boy or, any of the lower level strength characters that nobody really stands a chance against Homelander. When we throw him in with these DC characters, he barely beat Invincible last round. Barely beat Invincible. But the problem with Homelander is that he got an ego. He sees Wonder Woman. He underestimates her. He doesn't know what to expect. Wonder Woman is just as powerful as him. Outmatches him in fighting. Has her bracelets, which can deflect Darkseid's beams. Darkseid's beams can probably annihilate Homelander. I mean, I don't think he'd stand a chance against those. Those bracelets can deflect Darkseid beams. Homelander's heat vision will not stand a chance against the beams. She's a better fighter, more capable. Homelander loses.
All right, the next matchup was Batman versus Deadpool.
Ooh. Unfortunately, Batman loses. No amount of prep time can prepare him for I almost said Daredevil. No amount of prep time can prepare him for Deadpool. Folks. He's determined. He has that no-kill rule, and he's determined to uphold it, but Deadpool can't die. He can't, anything that Batman can do to Deadpool, he can heal through. So I don't really know. Somebody's got to stop Deadpool. I mean, Batman put up a hell of a fight. Batman knows.
But the problem is every time Batman did something, he healed right away, and then, he just was no match for the katanas.
Anything in the utility belt Deadpool could withstand. Any amount of martial arts that Batman knew, Deadpool could just heal through. Batman put up a fight. It was a long match. It was an overtime match. Batman wouldn't give up, but eventually he just had to go down. Deadpool just had to, Deadpool landed enough hits and enough slices to weaken Batman. And
so the grade 8 is set. It's Shang-Chi versus Swamp Thing, Flash versus Doctor Doom, Raven versus Ghost Rider, Wonder Woman versus Deadpool. We'll have results for next week, but first we're going to bring in, I'm going to leave here real quick, and I'm going to come back, but our version of Jimmy the Greek, Jimmy the Sousa, is going to come in and give us some analysis on the grade 8. So we'll be right back with Jim.
So we just heard the recap of the second round, all the winners. Some people are upset about it, but let's remember it's just for fun. Now joining me, Jimmy the Souser, to do some predictions, some analysis on round 3. So I guess without further ado, let's get done what the people want to see get done, and let's jump right into the first matchup here, Shang-Chi and Swamp Thing. It's important to note on this first round that Shang-Chi beat Captain Marvel with the 10 rings. So keep that in mind when we're making these predictions here.
See, and my problem with Shang-Chi is that I don't view the 10 rings at all, because he was, I'm thinking like early 70s, Shang-Chi. 80s stuff, which was amazing comic. Because he didn't have any powers, no 10 rings or anything like that. So this is how, between him and Swamp Thing, money is always on the Swamp Thing.
That is true. That is true.
Always on the Swamp Thing. Again, because Swamp Thing went against, and kind of slapped around John Constantine a bit.
True.
So, yeah, he's a very powerful character.
I think it is. But, yeah, it is definitely. But Shang-Chi, those rings, I think they throw a lot of people for a loop. They're very powerful weapons. They can do a lot of stuff.
They are. But, again, remember, Swamp Thing could be raised to the ground and he comes back up through the green.
That's true.
So, you can destroy him, his one body, and instantly he can regrow another one.
That is true.
And so on, and so on, and so on. And then just go inside of Shang-Chi, sprout out, and become a tree inside, and yeah.
That's true. Well, we'll have to see how the match plays out here for good old Shang-Chi and Swamp Thing. Who knows what could happen? Who knows what could happen in the end?
And again, folks, I don't make the decisions here with the characters. I just point out who I think should win.
Yep.
Oh, next one, Flash versus Doom.
Flash versus Doom. I'm interested to hear your take on this Doom.
Doom.
I think a lot of people are on Doom here.
Doom. Pure and simple. Doom would outsmart both Barry and Wally altogether. NJ. I mean, seriously.
Do we think he uses that magic of his, whip up some sort of anti-speedster?
I don't think he even needs to use magic. I think he would use pure science.
Well, let's not forget that. I mean, if
the Speed Force is pure science, and that's what Doom is.
The Flash, anything that Dr. Doom would need to do, he needs to form that thought. The Flash can move quicker than that thought. So really, what can Doom accomplish?
Oh, a lot still. Remember that armor.
That armor?
Yeah. It's all... Oh, no. It's Doom all the way.
You think that armor is phase proof for the Flash?
Oh, I think it's a lot more proof than you would think. If he was in the realm with the Flash, he would have a contingency.
Probably, but
he is essentially Marvel's Batman.
Yeah, that's true. He is, for sure.
Exactly. The only reason why the FF keep on beating him is out of sheer dumb luck. And also, I think it's because he does really respect them all together, too.
True. I think that's true. But has Doom encountered many speedsters before? I mean, there's
Quicksilver.
But Quicksilver isn't as powerful as the Flash. So those contingencies, would they really hold up?
Fair enough. But it's Doom.
It is Doom, and that very sentence blinds so many people. Yeah. But can he take down the Flash? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah. It could really go either way.
It's good. What does everybody else think? I'm thinking Dr. Doom.
I think most people think Doom.
Yeah, I think
out of respect for Doom, I think most people think Dr.
Yeah,
Doom.
I think Dr. Doom would probably come out on this. But again, who am I?
Raven versus Ghost Rider. Oh. This is a tough one. Yeah. See, now the Raven Scarlet Witch upset, I think upset a lot of people. A lot of people had money on Scarlet Witch to win the whole thing, guys. That's not going to happen. So, Raven beat Scarlet Witch. Now we're on Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is no joke. Raven is no joke.
Well, I mean, he beat Wolverine.
Wolverine.
And in the recent plots, they created Helverine. Helverine.
Getting his own run, I think, his own title.
Really?
Coming out. I think so, yeah.
There we go. So, when Ghost Rider looks into the eyes of those, they see their... I think that stare, his stare of his, may get to Raven.
That's how he beat Hellboy.
Huh?
That's how he beat Hellboy.
But, again, would her demon side care?
That's the thing. I know. She's got Trigon. She's got Trigon.
You're right. Yeah,
That's how she beat Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Trigon took over, demon side took over, and Doctor Strange had no chance. Sent to the underworld. That's how she beat Doctor Strange. So this could really go either way. This is a tough matchup.
Yeah. I say I keep on wanting to lean towards Wolverine. I mean, Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider.
That's the thing about the stare is the stare could do some damage,
Right.
right? Because
And the Hellfire, too.
the Hellfire, Raven is split. You know, she's got the human side and the
Right.
demon side, and that human side feels a lot of guilt
Right.
and a
lot of guilt.
and a lot of just trauma, and that's what that stare really utilizes to deal with damage.
Right.
So that could really do something. But again, I mean, once
Ghost
Trigon takes over, all bets are kind of off on that.
No, I'm going to stick with my guns on this
Ghost
Ghost Rider. Ghost
You
Rider.
heard it here first. The prediction is in for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Last matchup here: Wonder Woman versus Deadpool. This is the joke matchup that I personally I just really like to see Deadpool go up against these cool characters and win. He beat Dr. Fate. He beat Batman. Can he take down Wonder Woman?
Oh. This is a hard one. Well, not really. Wonder Woman. Because she is a goddess.
Yeah.
So, and she's strong. She's intelligent. The only thing that Deadpool has going for him is the healing factor, and also the ability to not die. So,
War Batman out. Deadpool had to take a win. Wonder
Right.
Woman, Wonder Woman does have some magic knowledge.
right.
Knowledgeable in magic. Is there a spell she could cast to prevent Deadpool from dying? No. Then, folks,
No,
I'm not
it would
sure what could happen
be
here
would be a slobber knocker. It would just be a fist fight brawl.
It'd have to be.
And I think that Deadpool would fail. I think my money's on Wonder Woman this time. Now, I will state this. If it was against, like, Marvel Girl or, like a telepath, Professor X, I would say Deadpool would have the advantage. Because, his mind's like scrambled eggs. But Wonder Woman's power is pure physical. Pure physical. He would, make some crack about, wooing her, and then she would just probably give him one punch, and he would lay there going, all right, you win. So
That could happen. But one of the things that we've seen with these Deadpool matchups is, it is a win by either knockout or death. None of these characters have really knocked out Deadpool. They knock him down, he gets back up, he dies, he gets back up. So they've all just been kind of, he's won by exhaustion, really. Just the fights have gone on too long. Will that happen with Wonder Woman, do you think?
oh yeah, she's got that lasso. She'll wrap him up and just leave him there.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. He wouldn't be able to get away from that.
Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe he gets away, maybe he doesn't.
Oh,
We'll have to see what happens here in that matchup.
Wonder Woman all the way.
Not gonna give away any winners here. So,
Yeah.
man, that was any closing thoughts?
Oof. I'm thinking that we're going to see the final battle between Wonder Woman and Doctor Doom. I think that will be the final battle.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, we're making a prediction right here.
Right here.
Who do you think would walk away from that? Wonder Woman and Doctor Doom.
I think it would be Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's Wonder Woman, man.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Who is to disagree with me on that? No. Yeah, unless she wind up getting some doubts in her. No, it's going to be Wonder Woman all the way.
I think that's an interesting take. That's an interesting prediction. Not something that...
Because if he goes up against Raven, it's going to be magic against magic.
True.
All together. He'll use his magic. Or even if Swamp Thing and Ghost Rider, again, that would be an interesting battle.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking too, a couple of weeks ahead. Who could it be? Who would it be in the final two?
I can tell you a lot of people had their money on Scarlet Witch for this. A lot of disappointed people. I mean, it was Scarlet Witch and Doom were the number two, the two number one predictions that people had taken it all. Scarlet Witch is out.
Nobody ever thought about, with the Scarlet Witch, she could have gone, your parents never met.
True. That could have happened.
That reality warping power of hers. Oh. But
Raven took advantage. Scarlet Witch emotionally weakened, took advantage of it. She just didn't know what to do and she lost.
Yeah, that was all due to Janet Van Dyne. I blame her. I blame the Wasp. For her mental state. If you don't understand what I mean, just reread the Avengers Disassembled.
Yep.
That was all due to the Wasp saying something very stupid.
The Wasp. Well, we will see you next week. You're coming on to promote some books.
Yeah.
That you're getting into.
I recently did a order with Zoop. Zoop is like a Kickstarter for comic book people. And the book I'm going to be, hopefully, I'll be getting this week is Thunder Hunters by Mark Nelson. Now, you're probably sitting back going, gosh, who's Mark Nelson? Well, if you remember or you've seen the old Dark Horse Alien series, he was the one who did the first miniseries.
Cool.
First appearance of the alien in comic book form, Mark did. Mark is an incredible artist, very talented man, and I look forward to reading that.
Yeah, all right, cool. Well, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Jimmy the Sousa, everybody, thank you for coming on, making predictions. Always appreciate to get this analysis in before round 3, so thank you. We'll see you next time.
All right.
All right, so we had some analysis. Good luck. We'll have the results next week. Jim gave his opinion.
Yes, he did.
So hopefully, I don't know if people are going to take it to heart or if they're happy with it, or if they've given up on the bracket altogether.
He gave a final matchup prediction. He gave a winning prediction.
He did. He threw it out there. He went brave and bold, and we'll see. Brave and bold like the comic. But he took a shot at who he thinks is going to win. We'll have to wait and see.
We never know.
Games haven't been played yet, but we'll have the results next week. So, yeah. Keep your brackets heady. We'll go over the results next week. So far, we got a hell of a tournament on our hands. Anything else to add?
I think that does it.
We'll see everybody next week.